Hello everyone, and welcome to Appalachian Cemetery Hunting with Robin. In today's video, we will be visiting the Cullen Cemetery, and this is located in the town of Providence in Webster County, Kentucky, in the western part of the state, as shown on this map. This video is by special request made by one of our YouTube viewers. I only know him by his username of Sir Sidley, and he lives in southern England. His fourth great-granduncle and his family are buried here, and I'm going to group them together toward the end of the video. Now, this is a fairly large cemetery. There are 228 people buried here. So for the sake of time, we're going to concentrate on those born in 1860 and before, with a few exceptions, such as their spouses. So let's get started. First, we have Albert Browning, 1860 to 1941, and his wife, Gertrude Price Browning, 1875 to 1964. Next, we have Andrew Rice Browning, 1829 to 1897. Next, we have Armistead Twitty Doris, 1844 to 1927, and his wife, Lucinda A. Hughes Doris, 1853 to 1940. Next, we have Benjamin Franklin Doris, 1848 to 1865. Now we have E. Bakewell, and we do not have a birth year, but they died in 1888. Next, we have Elder Benjamin B. Pullum, 1828 to 1891. And I'm guessing that to his tombstone where it says elder means that he was an elder in his church. Next, we have Eldridge Wilson Towns, 1848 to 1917, and his wife, Mary A. Jeffries Towns, 1853 to 1940. Next, we have George W. Johnson, 1859 to 1887. Next, we have James D. Palmer, 1832 to 1904. Next, we have James Thomas Bruce, 1845 to 1925, and his wife, Susan F. Johnson Bruce, 1862 to 1950. Now we have John T. Doris, 1838 to 1907. Next is M. B. Doris, 1855 to 1887. Now we have Martha Doris Palmer, 1811 to 1859. Next we have Martha J. Money Palmer, 1844 to 1904. Next is Martha Martin, 1811 to 1852. Now we have Mary A. Doris Williams Popplestone, 1859 to 1932, and her first husband, Thomas Jackson Williams, 1862 to 1892. Now we have Nancy A. Doris Pullum, 1832 to 1884. Next is Nancy W. Beckham Doris, 1806 to 1892. Next, we have the Reverend Bernal P. Doris, 1806 to 1879. Now we have the Reverend Eleazar Smith Doris Jr., 1835 to 1919, and his wife, Harriet A. Wilson Doris, 1833 to 1910. Next, we have Robert Burnell Doris, 1856 to 1933. Now we have Robert Marion Williams, 1853 to 1929. And next we have Ruel V. I hope I pronounced this right, Measle. It's M-E-A-Z-L-E, 1841 to 1921. And now we have Susanna Palmer Browning, 1835 to 1891. Okay, now let's get started on Sir Sidley's ancestors. First, we have the Reverend Joseph Cullen, 1799 to 1848, and he was Sir Sidley's fourth great-granduncle. Now, the Reverend was born in Kent, England, and according to findagrave.com, Joseph preached a sermon on the day of his death. On the way home from church, he noticed a burning tree that was about to fall on a rail fence. He began removing some of the rails, and either the tree or one of the limbs fell on him and killed him. And he is buried only a short distance from the place where this accident happened. Now, inscribed on the stone slab that you see here in this picture is the following: in memory of Reverend Joseph Cullen, born October 11, 1799, died March 19, 1848. He preached only a few hours before his death from John chapter 13, verse 25, where it says, Jesus said unto her, I am the resurrection and the life. He that believeth in me, though he were dead, yet shall he live. And the first verse of the last hymn he ever sung goes like this: Eternity is just at hand, and shall I waste my ebbing sand, in careless view departing day, and throw my inch of time away. And that's pretty neat right there. Okay, next we have the Reverend Cullen's wife, Sarah Boltinghouse Cullen, 1809 to 1873, and she was born in, and I hope I pronounce this right, Scioto County, Ohio. And that county's name is spelled S-C-I-O-T-O. Now, the Reverend's first son could possibly have been from a previous marriage. And his name was William Henry Cullen, 1819 to 1877. And he was born in Sittingbourne, Swaleborough, Kent, England. And he is buried in the Bethel Cemetery in the town of Sturgis in Union County, Kentucky. This map shows where this county is. Next, we have Joseph and Sarah's son, James Boltinghouse Cullen, 1827 to 1904, and he was born in Illinois. And his wife was Martha C. Doris Cullen, 1830 to 1849. Their next child was Harriet E. Cullen Johnson. Sorry, folks, we had a little bit of a technical problem there. Let's start that again. Their next child was Harriet E. Cullen Johnson, 1830 to 1889. And she was born in Illinois. And her husband was Andrew Johnson, 1820 to 1889. And this is their headstone. Next is their son, John Davis Cullen, 1839 to 1920. He was born in Kentucky. And his wife was Elijah J. Doris Cullen, 1837 to 1918, and this is their headstone. Next is another son, Joseph Polk Cullen, 1843 to 1873, and he was born in Kentucky. Now, I believe his first wife's name was Susan Oakley Cullen, 1841 to 1871. His second wife was Eliza Wood Cullen, 1840 to 1911, and both of them are buried in this same cemetery. Now, their last child was Daniel Head Cullen, 1846 to 1934, and he was also born in Kentucky. And he married Martha J. Martin Cullen, 1847 to 1909, and here's their headstone. Now we're going to take a look at the Reverend's and his wife's grandchildren. First, we have Henry Cullen, 1860 to 1922. He was the son of James Boltinghouse Cullen and Mary E. Doris Cullen. Now we have James W. Johnson, 1856 to 1858, son of Harriet Cullen Johnson and Andrew Johnson. Now we have Ann E. Cullen Barker, 1855 to 1928, and her husband, John F. Barker, 1856 to 1926. And she was the daughter of James Boltinghouse Cullen and Mary E. Doris Cullen. Next, we have Louisa M. Johnson Williams, 1853 to 1906. And she was the daughter of Harriet E. Cullen Johnson and Andrew Johnson. Next, we have Mary E. Johnson Cullen, 1851 to 1887. And she was the daughter of Harriet E. Cullen Johnson and Andrew Johnson. And last and certainly not least, we have Zachariah Boltinghouse Cullen, 1858 to 1927. And he was the son of James Boltinghouse Cullen and Mary E. Doris Cullen, and his wife Nancy E. Curry Cullen, 1858 to 1949. And here's a picture of them. Well, folks, we hope you've enjoyed this little video. And I sincerely hope this has helped you in researching your family history. Robin and I have done ours, and it's so interesting, so much fun doing. Again, we hope this has helped you, and we appreciate it if everybody would hit the like, share, and subscribe buttons. Until we see you again, take care. Bye-bye.